Alright guys, welcome back to another Patreon request, and this one comes from Alistair Boneman. As always, if you want to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can send me requests for video. If you hit the 4th tier, you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. So, let's get started. Now, if you guys remember, a few weeks ago, I did a video series I did a Patreon request for someone else called One Good Day, which was like a kind of a inverse of the DC Comics series going on with all the Batman villains One Bad Day, which I've been reviewing on here. So yeah, so I did one of DC superheroes, but this time Alistair asked me to do a new version of One Good Day, but this time doing it with characters from the Marvel side of things. So I thought that'd be a lot of fun. Anyway, so let's get started. So yeah, Alistair had a handful of characters he asked me to focus on. So yeah, so it's just not really. It's more like feel-good stories, which I feel like we kind of need more of that. I kind of talked about this in the One Good Day in the One Good Day video, the previous one a while back, where I talked about like how in here I feel like comics need like feel-good stories every now and again, because I feel like we focus too much on like a little too much on, you know, the dark and depressing and like the, you know, melodrama. I feel like we sometimes, that isn't a kid comic either. Like, I'm not asking for like although I am asking for people to do all ages comics. I wish that was more of a thing these days. But what I mean is, it never hurts to do a feel-good story. Some of us go, you know, a lot of us go through life and it feels really bad, so it wouldn't hurt to have like a feel-good story every now and again for comics. You know, God forbid we see our superheroes have a good day once in a while. Anyway, so let's get started. Anyway, so the first one we're going to talk about is Laura Kinney, aka X-23, and Wolverine's clone. So Laura's story would be that she is on like a little mini vacation. She's more or less taking time away from Krakoa. She's had a very, like, hectic life for a little bit. So now she's like, I need a break. I need a little bit of a break from... And Xavier, like... Because, of course, Xavier and Magneto, being total creeps, are like, you know, you have everything you need here, Laura. Why do you wish to leave? And she's like, I'm not really leaving, and I just need a break away from Krakoa and everything else. Like, I just need some time to myself. That's all I ask. So what she does, and Wolverine backs her up. Like, Logan comes in and is like, let the girl just go enjoy some, you know, cross-country fun. He even suggests going to just spending some time in Canada. She was like, I thought you'd say Japan, Logan. And he goes, Japan's my thing. Japan is my thing, kid. That's my vacation spot. You don't take my vacation spot. So he says, go to Canada, go out and enjoy yourself. So that's what she does. She rents a log cabin. But the other thing she does is that as she's preparing to leave for her vacation, Laura sees Kyle, aka Wild Child, who has kind of like... If you haven't been following the comics, and I bring this up because I've been reading the 3 volumes of Jim Zub's Hellions, Wild Child has been kind of like under some drugs to make him more docile, and Laura is like, hey, Kyle, come on, let's go. She brings Kyle along, and the two actually go out to a lodge. They do some, like, her version of Laura's training is like, vacation is training and honing her senses. She even has Kyle, who's as a sparring partner as well. But eventually, throughout the story, the two do encounter a family. They do encounter a family who have like been wrecked in the snow, and they need a place to stay. So they invite them into the cabin, even though Kyle, has more of a mentality of a wolf, he's more like, they're weak. They don't belong in the pack. We should beat in the father. And she's like, Jesus Christ, Kyle, just relax. Relax for a second. So from there, they discover that they were, they were leaving, but then they were leaving their own vacation home to go back to the States. But what happened was something large, knocked over their car, and they barely escaped. So she's like, tell me what this large thing was. Sure enough, it's a Wendigo. So you wouldn't be a superhero comic without a fight. So Kyle and Laura go out to deal with the Wendigo, but also they also make a bit of a discovery in that, because it turns out that Wendigo is actually what this one is someone else's kid they've been trying to keep safe. Turns out that this woman was dating a guy who was like a practicing shaman in dark magic, and fed her kid meat of another person to turn them into a Wendigo for his own private attack dog. So now their kid got cursed to be a Wendigo, and they've more or less been trying to take care of them in secret. So Laura's like, I can't, I'm sorry, we can't, it's a monster now, we can't help them. And as Laura goes to like do the killing blow on the Wendigo, what she realizes is can't do it. So what they do is bring it to Monster Island for safekeeping. So Laura's whole thing is like, I realized I don't have to resort to everything to violence. So there you go. So following that is Kate Bishop. So Kate's story would be that Kate is trying to reconnect with Eli, the original Patriot. So yeah, she's trying to reconnect with Eli Bradley, and she's trying to find him again. And the whole story is them trying to like work out their relationship, which inevitably it does. Like that's the whole story, is like her trying to make a reconnection, and also the two, like him being like, yeah, maybe I will be Patriot again one day. Following that is Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, who his good day is that Robbie and Captain America. Remember, Robbie Reyes is on the Avengers. So in here, Robbie with Captain America are out on a mission. They stop some monsters sent by Mole Man, and during the battle, Reyes saves some kids from one of the monsters, and they're like, oh no, scary monster, and he's just like, I forget what I look like when I'm like Ghost Rider. So so him and Cap are more or less on, like, Cap takes him because he sees he's down, after seeing like people, like how they look at Ghost Rider, and like, oh, why is Ghost Rider, and they basically bring up the question everyone else does, why is Ghost Rider on the Avengers? Isn't he like this monster that punishes people severely, like the Punisher? And he's like, that's not me, that was, and no one understands that that is him, but also that's not him. That's Dan Ketch and that's Blaze and Ketch who do all that really brutal stuff. And eventually, what happens is Steve brings Robbie to he brings him to like a children's hospital to meet some kids he was going to see. So the kids are like scared of it, and he's like, no, kids, it's all right. Just because someone looks different doesn't mean they're evil. He points to one of the kids, and he's like, you there, where are you? And he said, and he goes, I'm black. And he goes, yeah, is anyone here scared of you? And he's like, no, sir. He's like, exactly, like, our differences make us stronger, and that's what really binds us together. So I thought that would be the nice message. Plus, it also bring up the whole thing of why the hell is like, give a reason why Ghost Rider is a part of the Avengers, and kind of bring up that whole thing. Anyway, so following that is Flash Thompson. Flash's one good... Flash Thompson, and this would be, obviously, Flash Thompson is Venom, or rather, anti-Venom. So, Flash Thompson's good day is that he is actually, like... He would basically be that... he has been dealing with coming back from the dead, and Peter's like... And him and Peter, like... hang out. Like, that's the whole story, is that it's just Peter and Flash being bros, which we don't get a lot of. So it's just them just having a day out swinging, talking about stuff, and more or less just kind of like reconnecting. And also like Flash, like, hey man, I know we've had not the best relationship, but you know, I'm happy to call you like a brother to me. And like him and Peter just hug it out like bros. That's what I think we all kind of want that an issue of that, of just Flash and Peter hanging out, like, because they were like Flash was like his bully, but there was that good time where Flash Thompson was Peter's like best friend for a bit. Hell, he was even the best man at him and MJ's wedding. Anyway. So next up, speaking of, is Spider-Man. So what is Spider-Man's one good day? Spider-Man's one good day is that Peter, after a long fight with several of his villains, is like just swinging around. He's like, God, it's been a busy... it's one of those days where everyone's out to kill Peter. However, he encounters... he basically encounters... the Rhino. He runs into the Rhino and he's like, oh Jesus, dude, I don't want to fight you, man. And Rhino's like, I didn't want to fight you either. I was trying to, you know, I was busy doing something else. And Peter's like, really? Was that something involving breaking into a bank? And he's like, no. I'm trying to, like, he basically tells him, look, I'm just trying to have a moment of peace for my family who I've lost. And he basically, like, Rhino brings up all the people, his family and loved ones that have died, and the people he laments he never got to see again because of being the Rhino. So, and Peter's like, oh shit, I really do realize, I really connect with that. So it's more of them, just Rhino and Peter, just really connecting on the ones they've loved and like talking about it. So there you go. Next up is Wanda, you know, Scarlet Witch. What is Scarlet Witch's one good day? So, Wanda's one good day is, her story is that she is invited back to Krakoa, and what happens there is that she's no longer treated as the boogeyman. Like, Xavier and Magneto and the Quiet Council are all like, this... the monster's here, the monster's here. And Cyclops is like, Charles, shut the fuck up. Wanda did a lot. Like, Wanda has done a lot for the world, and even the other X-Men and everyone's like, yeah, we get it, no more mutants. How many times did we forgive Jean for nearly killing the planet? Or you going insane for... Need I remind you about Onslaught? So it's really Scott, like, standing up for her, and Wanda even, like, yeah, I'm done being the boogeyman of Krakoa. I'm just here to tell you, get fucked, Xavier, and fuck you, Dad. So it's more, this comic's, her good day is her, like, finally getting some repercussion, and also, like, her going straight to the Avengers and, like, you guys also didn't really back me up a lot, now did you? Because how many times did I have a mental breakdown with the West Coast Avengers, and then used by Kang, all of that? This is just more of her having an affirmation every time. And finally is Moon Knight's one good day. And what is Moon Knight's one good day? Well, his good day, one good day, is that he gets one day alone to himself. In that, Mark Spector gets one day of the year where he is not bothered by either his Steven or Jake's personas. He just gets to sit in a coffee shop and enjoy his time alone. There you go. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much those good day stories. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this? And what other Marvel superheroes could you see getting one good days? Would like to thank Alistair Bowman for this video and continued patronage. And yeah, other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.